So let me know if somebody's out there. I was having some technical difficulties. So anyway, um, I hope you guys out there you can hear me. So just typing something so then we can take it from there. Okay, there are some people coming through. So finally we got it. We got it to work. So let me know if the sound is good. Give some thumbs up. Anyway, so happy belated New Year to everyone. We're in the year 2019. I think it's going to be a great year for all of us. So as the new year comes about, this is the time that we set goals or renew goals and trying to get things done. So it's been a while since uh, we we spoke with most of you. Some of you we have been communicating um, through email and chats, and so but I feel like this time was needed for me to unveil myself, and then we can just have a series of discussion and also give you some updates on project wise and excuse me um, and stuff like that. So I would like to begin with a few other things that I want to talk about. So basically, the goals for 2019. I mean that is different for everybody based on um, where you are, like stages of your project and all that kind of stuff. But obviously, if you are thinking about um, securing a piece of property, like a land or something like that, I think this is the year to do it because it's not going to get cheaper from here. So this is the year to take action, not develop thinking constipation. So this is the year of movement. So this is the year to just secure your land and then get your architect to do your blueprint and then and then go from there. And so like for me, I'm kind of like almost at the end of wrapping up with with the house, and then I move on to other things. But it would be nice to also see people that have yet to begin, and also those who are kind of like midway, and also those who are like getting close. So this is the year of doing that. Now, what will it take to build a dream home? I think it's going to take like everything you got and some lot of discipline, um, especially for those of us that have been we already put in 3, 4, 5, 6 years, whatever, however long it's taking you. I think this is the year to just maximize all the resources and then try to wrap things up because a new election is going to come. Regardless of who wins, prices is going to go crazy again. So you want to maximize that, take advantage of that. So that also means that the free lunch that you've been giving to your siblings and family back home, maybe you have to reassess that, or the other spiritualists that you have been giving them money, you may have to assess that because when you add them up, you can do something with that. Also, too, I mean, one thing like I want you guys to know too is like, um, obviously, building from Ghana is a risky thing. And what is going to happen is eventually you have to make a decision, right? You have to make a decision and go for it. You cannot be so risk adverse or like to be overly cautious to the extent that you are immobilized, right? Something is going to happen during the project, something is going to go wrong. Okay, the goal for me is to help you maybe see those things and then plan for them and also maybe help you not become too costly. But things happen here and there. But at the end of the day, if you want to wait for the ideal conditions and things to be right, is not, you may never get there. Meanwhile, life is just moving. So you just have to go for it and just be diligent and just take it from there. But you can be indecisive. It's gonna cost you in the long run. One of the reasons too that I'm making this video too also is we have to be careful when we buy appliances from our respective countries. In this case, in the West. So the challenges like I'm facing right now is so all the 110 volt appliances are okay because you can use a step down or step up in Ghana. So that one, all my appliances that are 110 are working. I'm having a challenge with my dryer because my dryer is 220 and I bought it from the US. And so I would suggest that anything that has to do with 220, just buy it in Ghana. Because the issue is that the power requirement for the 220 here in the US, so how is wide is they use two 110 wires to connect it, and that's 220. In Ghana is one wire. So my dryer, due to the power requirement that was placed on the dryer, basically I'm not able to use it in Ghana because there's no way they can connect two wires, which you put it about 440, which will exceed the voltage. So I'm working with Samsung in Ghana to see what I can do exchange, and that has been like a month ordeal. So we'll see what happens. But if it's 110, get a step down transformer in Ghana, that'll be fine. If it's 220 from either Europe or US, just don't buy from there. Just buy it in Ghana, and then you're not gonna have this wiring issue. Okay, so yeah, so that's one thing to factor that in. Okay, so if I have to do it again, I'll just buy 110 appliances from here and then deal with all the 220s down there. So, and Samsung in Ghana has already sent their own technician to the house and assess everything, and so that is what the feedback came back. So we have to think about these things because you don't want to. And one of the challenges too of sending something down there is like if he gets down there and it doesn't work, well, basically if it cannot be repaired, then because there's no way you can get it back here for kind of like and to get an exchange or anything like that. It doesn't make sense to ship it all the way back. So it's gonna be costly to that effect. So we have to balance um, all these things. So just be careful. Double check the appliances, the ones that you're buying. Don't assume. I made the assumption the dryer was 110, but it's actually 220. Most of the appliances are 110, 120, and the dryers 220, 230. So it's just about so just pay attention over there. Don't just make an assumption. Okay, so I have a question about building journey. Okay, so cost involved. So the cost, right? So I would say it is very expensive, but the way I look at it is like either way you will spend money in your lifetime. Most of us would have spent $1 million and more in our lifetime, right? The question is, what do you have to show for it? So if you're able to track just spending. You'll be shocked how much waste. So you'll be spending the money somehow. So I figure, it's gonna be expensive. So you might just get something you want. So I tell people, when you do your architectural drawings, don't minimize the dream. Obviously you want it to be realistic, but also to, like, get something you want, because at the end of the day, when you're done, you want to be able to enjoy it. The Ghanaian homes, you can't do renovation. So it's better to just, you could have paid $500 more for an architect and get something special, than you saying that you don't want to pay that money. So you have some Joe Blow person do it for you. And then at the end of the day, when you spend, hundreds or thousands of dollars, you're not happy with something. So I would say the architectural drawing is very, very important. Make sure if you need anything, just put it in there, and then, because it's gonna determine how you enjoy everything at the end of the project. But it will cost more. Land in Accra is going up like crazy. It's been going up for some time now. So um, you want to, if you are thinking about buying, you want to probably look a little bit outside. And I always say, when in doubt, just get two plots. Because, and then just build on one plot and then keep the other plots, right? Down the road, you can do something. Even down the road, if you want to sell it, you can sell it. But um, because I feel like, no, it depends. If you want to do like some rental thing, you can put everything on one plot and kind of stuff. But if you have the option to buy two, just buy two. It's only gonna get expensive down the road. Okay. And when you go outside of Accra, you can get more for your bank. You can get 100 by 100. For one plot. Some places in Accra is even like 80 by 70, some 100 by 8. So it's all about what you want. And I would say, look at it decisions like long term, long term versus let me cut corners, because it's gonna catch up to you down the road. And also I want to spend a little bit of time and talk about the spreadsheet. So here's the thing with the spreadsheet. So I know, like, people have kind of like contacted me, like wanted me to send like the whole spreadsheet and stuff like that. And I think it's not a good idea, for the reason being that um, if you are to know every little thing, every detail, the cost and everything, I think some of you will not even make the journey. I mean, granted, not everybody's gonna build to the same size. Some's gonna build the same, bigger or smaller. But I think, because if I have known the cost it was gonna take, maybe I would have think twice, whatever, and stuff like that. So, but ideally, the best thing is, get your blueprint. I can take that blueprint. I can give it to my architect. We can give you like, based on the blueprint, we can give you like a code for foundation, right? So assuming you are starting from fresh, then the foundation actually makes sense, because I did my foundation 6 years ago, right? So obviously, the cost then was different. Cement bag was 10 Ghana, you know. So then we can give you more like an updated for the foundation. Then after the foundation, the other stuff, like the electrical, that you get your code, I can send you my spreadsheet for electrical, and then you compare. You get something for your windows. I send mine for windows. You compare roofing, that kind of stuff. Then we go like project by project. I think it's much more easier to digest than to see, a lot of money, stuff like that. So I want to be responsible with that. So I hope it makes sense. Um, and that kind of stuff. So then we can see whether, the numbers you are getting is, reasonable. You always negotiate on the labor and that kind of stuff. But you also have to be careful that if you if you go too deep, sometimes these people will want to cut ways to make that money. So it just has to be some reasonable, you know, and that kind of stuff. And and also one thing too is like, So if I introduce you to like my contacts or anything like that, so it's also your job to be to do your due diligence and all that stuff. But the thing also too is like some of them are particular in how they do things, a certain way, and so. But at the end of the day, for me, what is important is the person going to get a job done to your specifications. So I think for me, that's what I look at, not deal with a little bit things here and there, because there's not a lot of people that actually, when you pay them, they will actually go and do the job. So I think, and some of these guys, especially I have a couple of key guys that I've vetted them, and I know they're gonna come through for you guys. So just work with some of their awkward way of they doing things, but at the end of the day, they're gonna do the good job and stuff like that. So because you don't want to be nitpicking everything, then it's just wasting time and all that stuff. So you just move on from there, you know. And so that's one of the things. And so yeah, so but as far as spreadsheet go, we can do that. We can do project to project, because it's like, and also like I know if I have to do it again, I'll probably save about 20 to 30%. But I didn't have anybody to inform me like, hey, do things this way, do this. So, you when you don't know what you're doing, sometimes, you make some mistakes. But it's fine. So let's do it that way, because now if I have $1 million, maybe the spreadsheet, you can digest that. But I also think for most people, is not responsible. But it will, like, I'll give you a certain ballpark. Foundation, like my foundation, you do right now 20 grand. I did it for 13. Roofing, I just throw some numbers out there so you can add up the cost real quick. Roofing 13,000. Okay, fence wall 9,000. Okay, electrical about 15,000. Okay, uh, over 70,000 for the whole block work, right? So you see how the numbers add up pretty quickly, right? Then you don't want to talk about appliance and all that stuff, and tiling and all that stuff. Tiling alone costs like 15,000 to buy, right? So this can be a deterrent for somebody when they start hearing these numbers. So so it's just like the responsible thing is like, you get your code, I send you my, you look at it, and that kind of stuff, and then we go from there, because some of the things on the spreadsheet is not, some of you are not even going to be doing those stuff. It is, it's not applicable. So there's no point, and it's all a distraction. And then we can take it from there. Yeah. So in terms of being on the ground, right? So right, foundation, right, is very important. Like I would say, if you can, foundation, be on the ground. It's very very important, because sometimes even the orientation of where you want to position the house, sometimes is it facing what direction, when is the sun coming, all those things. And maybe you want to move the whole building a little bit further back so you have space in the front. Your builder is not going to be in a position to make that decision for you. You have to be on the ground and make that decision. Or even sometimes, after they do the foundation, be like, no, it looked too small, open up 3 more feet. Those things. And then also you are learning, right? Because this thing, you have to be involved. This is not something you send money and you sit and watch TV. You got to be involved. You got to know everything. You got to do your homework. You got to ask questions. You got to challenge them on certain things. You got to be involved. And the more you get involved, the more you understand things, the more also too, they know that you are watching, that they do the right thing. But it's not something, I call Ghana almost every day, sometimes multiple times a day, just to keep an eye on things. You have to do that. Okay, so my goal here is to help you guys, avoid some of the stuff, and because everything when you bid in Ghana, everything is thousands. You know, everything is €1,000, £1,000, $1,000. So if you can save that money and and do something better, that's okay. So, but um, this is the year of action. Okay, this is the year of action, um, and this is the year of just going for it. No more indecision and all that stuff. Just live free and chase the dream, and then go big. So but it is gonna take a lot, but you can do it. I mean, yeah, there's no doubt you can do it. Even if you take 5 years, even if you take 10 years, it's worth it. So the IT is like whatever it takes, but you just have to be smart and just and my goal is to just not heavy navigate some of the things I'm learning too, as I'm going, but the goal is to help you navigate some of those things. And also I mean, this video came about because from request, right? So, and I've been working behind the scene with a lot of people. So, and I think I've answered all the emails and text messages. So I think I've done that. If I haven't answered any email that you sent me, just shoot me a quick one and then I'll take a look. But I think I've answered all of them. So, but I think most people is like, this information is needed out there. Most people want to do something. The challenge is how do they go about it, And so that is why I think it's very important that we share the video and we support the channel. Go to the PayPal channel, support the channel, and also so then we can provide this content, because I want it to be more like a discussion, sharing ideas, and learning from each other as we go, because for me that is what I get a joy from. Nothing will make me happier than I go to Ghana and I look in my contact and there's 1,000 people I can call anytime, say, hey, I'm in your neighborhood, can I stop by? To me, that is worth it. That is worth it. So, but I think, it's like, we don't know, our plight in this country, or the direction. So I'm always of the mindset you have to be able to live in two continents. So you're not tied to anything. Anything happens, you can just move from one side to the other side and not decrease your lifestyle. So that is the goal. So, and I know some of us when we come here and we make a little bit of money, we think this is it. But well, I hope you are right. But if we have children, we owe it to them to give them options. Well, good options. So yeah. So also too, the thing too is like there are new method of building in Ghana, like interlocking bricks, like somebody have said, um, and so it's about finding efficient materials, right? Because I've always thought that there's a way we can reduce the level of cement blocks and stuff like that. Even the solid ones. I mean, there are places we can use the hollow blocks in terms of like doing the big plumbing stuff like that. And so the technology is improving and all the stuff. So if there's a better way of doing something, and it can be, the challenge is the execution. You know, finding a competent person who's able to execute it and that kind of stuff. So if it can be done, I think we shouldn't be afraid, to try those things. So, but I think Ghana holds a lot of potential, right? A lot of potential, and I think for those who are like more closer to finishing the house, I think 2019 is also another year to think about. Okay, what is the next move? Okay, if you don't have a business in Ghana, what am I gonna do? What am I planning? What kind of business is it sustainable? If you have a business, can you maximize it? Because Ghana is ripe, and so we have to be thinking about those things, because that'll be the next stage, right? So is this all planning, just in case you have to move down there or something like that? Because I don't think living here and going to go work for somebody, unless you have connections in the government, that's another story. But other than that, I don't think you're gonna be compensated to the same level that you have here. So I think like maybe you should just take the skills and knowledge you've acquired here and just go there and do something for self, and then go from there, or link up with other people that are like-minded, and then take it from there. So that is the stuff that we have to you have to think about, and everybody's in different stages. But if you are just about to start, it can be done, and I hope you do it more efficiently and much quicker, uh, with less money and stuff like that. So I think it can be done and stuff. So, but so keep the questions coming. Let me know. Uh, what is keeping you from making the jump and all that stuff. And so some of the questions also get to, like, working with families, right? And and I think that it doesn't have to be a nasty thing or anything like that. It's just when you have a dream or vision, not everybody sees it the same way. And also too, I mean, you'd be naive to think that everybody's rooting for you. It's just life and period. So and sometimes too, when you pop your head out there and you are doing something, it's a reflection on somebody inabilities to do something. So it's just you just have to determine that, hey, you want to make something out of yourself, you know. So and whoever can help you, great. I mean, I work with anybody. It's like I have Togolese, Nigerians, Ivorians, everybody work on a project. All tribes I work on a project. If you come, you're competent, you look like you're decent, you can do your job. I work with you. I don't have It's not an emotional thing. It's just like whoever is gonna do the job, it's like that's who you work with. And but sometimes, family members have just different mindset. It's like they have this impunity mindset. They have plans, but then your money is what is going to be used for their plans. And so, and that is the thing. It's like for me, when I started the project, I said for the first year, I'm like, you know what? If I don't meet this goal, I'm not sending money to anywhere. So because they do add up. They do add up. It's like we don't want to spend 40 years building a house, and then, I mean, how are you going to enjoy it? You are 85 years old. That's not good, right? So we want to enjoy it while we are active. Like we are strong. It's like we're mobile. So and it's hard when 300, 1,000, 2,000. The money is just spread all over the place. It's just and that is some of the things that's holding some of us back. You're carrying the burden of 20, 30 people. I mean, nobody should ever have to deal with that. So you know, but we know the level of ungratefulness. So, but you owe it to your kids and stuff like that to prepare something for them. Yep. So and then finishing. Yep. Yeah. Finishing is tough. Yeah, it is tough. Finishing is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So I'll consider finishing like tile work. Putting on the fixtures and the vanities, right? The painting, right? Um, and then you put out appliances, um, and all that other stuff. I think finishing depending on the size of the house. I think finishing is probably the most expensive. Is easily double foundation, easily. So yeah, and that is one area that uh, people underestimate. There's a lot of honor, honor like if you go to Ghana right now, there's a lot of houses that is like what is the word? Not completed, in Ghana, and most of it is just people not knowing the scale, not knowing the scale is gonna take, and stuff like that. So that is why there's a lot of uncompleted houses in Ghana. You see they start big and it's been sitting there, nothing has been touched for 10 years, right? So I think the goal must be realistic, you know, like be realistic in 10 years. Okay, so granted that 10 years, you're going to deny yourself a lot of things and you're going to be diligent in saving and all that stuff, and also take care of all the responsibilities and knowing that maybe your job is going to be stable, because once you lose your job, that changes a bunch of stuff. So, but it has to be realistic that you can finish it in 10 years. If you can't do it in 10 years, then maybe bring it down a little bit. It has to be realistic. Or sometimes too, one thing you can do too, like like somebody said, like buying partial, built properties. Yeah, if because sometimes people need the money, and then they get it for cheap. But those things also too, you have to be really careful, right? Because you have to know that the person owns the land and the person also own that kind of stuff. Because there's a lot of stuff going on right now. People posing as owners of properties. Um, is rampant right now. So you want to be really, really careful. So that means if you want to do that, you want to make sure you change the land into your name and that kind of stuff. And then maybe you can do like addition. You can extend another foundation, and do that kind of stuff. But and also too, if you are outside the country, if you are outside Ghana, to me it makes sense to use an architect that is in your respective country outside Ghana. Okay. There's a lot of value in there. Okay. First, like even if you go to like if you look at the Trazaco homes and those places, they're kind of like cookie cutter in a little bit way. If you look at the plan, there's not a lot of diversity in there. So one here, they know how to maximize the interior space. Big deal. Big deal. Okay. They can, also too is different, when people come into the house, especially if you're going to do rental property, right? You do not want a Ghanaian architect. I don't care who they think they are. They always going to have challenges in interior design. It's going to happen. It's just something they don't do it well. So if you want like a flow that somebody comes in, oh my god, this is like what I have, oh, stuff like that. Okay. And so you want that. And that, the Ghanaians, architects, there's a way they do things, man, and they don't want to deviate from that. And so they put a wall here, they put a wall down here, and then it's like it's choppy, so choppy. So I would say use that. Um, it's like it makes sense. Even the placement of like appliances and stuff like that, there's a method to that, you know, and stuff. You don't want to connect like extension cord across from the other room to that kind of stuff. So I think use if you're in London, use somebody from there. If you're in the US, use somebody from there. Just work with them. Get all your designs you want. Take photos. Write your list of what you want, and then give them the freedom to execute it. They're gonna place things and stuff because you want your house to be unique. You just want somebody come in and be like, oh, this is different. That's what you want. And so that is why, like I'm saying, like, it's hard to say like you want somebody's plan because it may look nice, but it has to be personal. You can take that, but you have to just put something in there that moves you, and so these are like personal things. Yeah, so yeah, so you can start, you can start, there's some software that you can play with. And also too, like it, like when you do your windows, like the Ghana architect, they tend to make the windows very small, and then they make a lot of them. So but it doesn't really make sense. Why don't you just do like two big windows in a bedroom, so then when it's airable, right? And instead of doing like five, 4 or 5 little windows, that kind of stuff. So it's like it's just those things that they don't look at and stuff like that. So there's a lot of benefit using like a foreign architecture. This thing, granted, you may have to give them a sample of a Ghanaian blueprint, so then they can use the lines. The way they draw the lines means different things. So then they can do in a way that the Ghanaian contractor basically can read the lines and say, okay, this is what it means. So that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it's about being studious and just discipline. Just discipline. You may have to block some calls from Ghana because you're trying to get this thing done. That's okay. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. So because I think it's important. It's like it's really important, and because we want to be able to go back home and rest and enjoy all the hard work, all the snow days, all being in the cold and all the overtime and all that other stuff, all the stuff we have to put up with, dealing here and stuff like that. So, but we want to be able to go and just you know wake up in the morning in our houses and be like, yeah, it's worth it, and that kind of stuff. So we want to do that. But so share the video, share them. I think this information needs to get out there, and let's create a community that we support each other, and then just like uh live the dreams. You only have one life to live, at least physically. So just live it well. um yeah, so in terms of buying and then making your bricks is cheaper. It is cheaper. So I think if you have the option, just do it. Just do it. Just bring the guys in. I think you basically you just and even the machines they're not too expensive. So you can get one or you can rent one and then you just pay the guys like per day. They come there and then they work. And then once they make the cement block after a few weeks it's dried, it's like they make enough, to build a fence wall and that kind of stuff. So making is much cheaper. Way, way much cheaper than, just because one of the issue too is like when you buy them, then you got transportation and all that stuff that adds up, and so make more than you need, and so also go for it. So it's about being smart, and then even the sequence of how you do things and that kind of stuff. Um, just maximize so you don't waste money. And if you can do a borehole, do a borehole. Do a borehole like maybe from foundation. Just have it over there, and then you can use it. As long as somebody's living on the site, just have one over there. You can just use for the cost of um, the project. It's gonna and stuff because I didn't do a borehole till like 4 years after. I was buying water like every other month. I should have done it a long time. But you into any business in Ghana? So yeah, so like I said, business opportunity. There's a couple of things that I'm thinking about, but I'll start talking business when I come back from my trip this summer because I wanna go check out some few things out there. But like the last time I said, it was like there's so many things, so many things to do, so many things, you know, and it's just about um, thinking through and then promoting it. The biggest challenge is to be able to market it and have people understand why they need. those services and that kind of stuff. But there's other things, down the pipe. Yeah. So yeah. So the thing is about, so you want to buy the land process, right? So usually this is what you want to do. So you meet somebody, blah blah blah. You go see the chief, right? Um, they talk about the land, ask for like a side plan, right? Then you want to find out in the neighborhood. You want to go there another time, talk to people in the neighborhood to find out what is going on. They know what is going on about the land issues and all that stuff. Somebody's gonna tell you whether this land has issues. So they take the site plan and go do a search. Do a search to find out who actually is rightful owner of the land. And if it's a different person's name that's trying to say that, don't just walk away. Then after that, you buy your land, then you start your paperwork. I'm all for the paperwork. Get it going. Because whoever get there first with the paperwork, that is who the law says the lines belong to. Okay. So as you start your paperwork, and you want to be checking on this paperwork like every 2 weeks or something. Ideally, if you're outside the country, have somebody go there a month, to grease somebody's palm and get the paperwork. It's very, very important. Why that is going on, if you don't have money to do foundation, at least have a makeshift structure for somebody to occupy the land, just to that kind of stuff. So, and then you start saving money and doing all that stuff. So, but don't go give somebody $10,000, $20,000 a month, and then before you go search. No, you go search first. So if they are resisting, walk away. Walk away. So it's not a trust thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's selling the land to you. It could be your uncle. Go do a search. You never know. Sometimes they sell it to somebody else. So you go do a search. You do a search first, then you can talk. Then the money comes in. You know. But and also if you go do a search too, they will tell you whether that land is like, it's probably because people make up a bunch of stuff, fictitious site plan, all that kind of stuff. So you want to go and search and do that. So I don't care if it's a pastor or whoever is selling that land. Doesn't mean anything. You go do your job and figure it out whether the person that is portraying as the land owner actually is a rightful owner, and then you take it from there. Other than that, just move on. There's land out there. So a will, right? So I mean, so what happens sometimes too is like, because the land is what, so 99 years, right? For if you want to do residential and that kind of stuff, right? So in terms of your agreement between you and the chief, so that is what it is. And so, but if you want to willfully, yeah, so you have to do that too. So you can transfer that. So what happens is, if you do that, so anytime you transfer the land to another person's name. So let's say you want to transfer it to, like for example, let's say you buy 10 acres, you want to give 1 acre to your son or stuff like that, right? Your son will have to go back to the chiefs again. Okay, they will have to pay a fee for each. They're not buying the land, but they're paying a fee, because now they're going to make an agreement with the chiefs, right? So then they're going to pay some fee per plot of land. So it's usually about $800 per plot of land. So that's how much they're going to pay to the chiefs. And the chief will draft a new agreement with your son, stating that this parcel of land belongs to your son. So then from that agreement, it's 99 years, with your son. So that is how it's going to work. So anytime it's transfer, they have to go back to, because technically the land still belongs to the chief. It's just you are leasing it for 99 years. So they have to go back, and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So but one of the things too is like, is Land is valuable. I'll just put that as valuable. Okay. I think more is better. More is better. It's always going to appreciate. It's always going to be appreciated. So get in while you can. Get in while you can, and then put everything in your name. Check. Because you gotta be careful. Because sometimes people will tell you they actually register in the land, but they're not doing that. Check. You know, if you can go there, go there. And then you know what you want to do, find somebody at the land registry and get your contact number, because you have to be careful. Because sometimes people will tell you they've registered, they have the documentation, and these are family members I'm talking about. And so be at ease. And then something happens and you find out that nope, it never happened. Okay, so those things I think is important, you know. Just register for peace of mind. Just register for peace of mind. So go outside and cry. It's like, prime area, is good. Or even like, going to the Cape Coast side is good, Eastern region, that side is good. But it used to be everybody's, coming to Accra. Now it's like people are just moving out, for because for me, I look at Accra like New York. I live in New York 5 years, so it's like when somebody say they're going to New York City, doesn't really do anything for me. So, but I live in Accra all my life, lived like 6 different places. So, I live in Flaster House, Airport, the places that are like, you know, prime location now and all those places. So it's like, but I'd rather go outside because I want space. I don't want to be like, elbow to elbow. I want space. So people want space. People just want to go there and have plant trees, fruits, just have those things just they can get out of the house and walk, around the compound and enjoy it. We want that. So I mean you can your money goes far too once you go 20, 30 minutes outside, you know, the main city, inside Accra. So I mean, but it depends what you want. Some place in Accra, a plot of land is like 25,000, $50,000. Well, even if I can afford it, I'm not paying that. So but it depends at the end, it depends what you want. Yeah, so plastering. So someone have a question about plastering. So the thing too is like there are people that actually plastering costs a little bit too. It costs like I think my plastering was um I think I was say 8,000 or something. So the thing about plastering is like you can break it into two, right? You can just save and do all the interior. Just do the interior plastering. Okay, if it's two levels, because they can give you a code for the exterior part, which is cheaper. The exterior is cheaper because it's like the four sides, you know, and stuff. So it's cheaper. So you can do the inside and then save money and then do the outside. But there are guys that actually they are specialized in doing plastering. Not every mason can do that because there are some people that are like make sure it's very smooth and that kind of stuff and it's level. You don't want like one place is thicker than the other stuff. So and those guys that are like specialized in plastering actually, they cost a little bit more than your regular mason. So don't let any mason tells you like they can do plastering and stuff like that. Other than that, you start seeing cracks in there and then stuff is like off. You hang stuff and it's like quarter of an inch higher on that side. Yes, but I think solar, yeah. So solar, yeah, eventually I'll have to do solar because it's the way to go. Right now I think, the electricity problem is not a big deal, but this is Ghana, anything can happen. So I think, solar wise very, very expensive, but I think the long run is a better option. Uh, it's much more efficient, it's much more less costly than generator and that kind of stuff. So I'll look into solar like next year or sometime next year. And stuff like that. So yeah, but solar, if you can do solar, and the thing with solar too is like you don't have to put everything on the panel. You can just put like the appliances and a bunch of, or you can, and one of the cool things is like you can get this portable solar light, for the outside, like in the garden or something like that. You can do that. Like I have a friend that has some installed for 5 years now, and it's still working. So you can do that as and stuff like that. So if you want to provide light from outside the house and even like connected to the main gate, and these are like they have sensors in them they are motion activated. So it dims out, and then when it senses like a motion, it brightens up, you know. So you can do that. Yep. I have a borehole. Yep. So borehole is a necessity if you wanna because water, you're gonna be using water. And then down the road you can even connect to like irrigation system to like water the place and stuff like that. Or you can use it for reverse osmosis, to just use it for the house as backup. Yep. So, but not every area, have access to water. So it's like, and sometimes they don't know. They have to dig to find out, to find whether there's water underground or not. But I think, yeah, I think it's a good thing to have that. Let's see, where are we? So recap, right? 2019 is an action year, right? Go for it. Go for the dream. Um, don't be paralyzed by indecision. Just make a decision and move on. Okay, get something done. And then and just like get closer to the dream or complete that, and then move on to the next one. So because it's like I think it's important. I think it's important. So I have not moved yet. So I think that is one of the so I will do the video as needed, based on the questions I'm getting through email and that kind of stuff, and then updates that come up, with my project that I feel like is worthy, to discuss. But also be careful with the 220, right? If you're buying 220 from Europe and outside, just buy from Ghana. 110, you can do a step down in Ghana, that's fine. But the 220 appliances, and I think primarily is the washer, the dryer. The dryer is the two, tends to be 220, 230. So watch out for those things. And so be in the process of doing another container for the stuff just to finish. And so I'm hoping, duties can, keep my fingers crossed, that can go down, because oh my goodness, it's tough. So I'm hoping something happens for that in the next 2 months, whatever. But all the same, you have to do what you have to do. So roofing, I paid about my roofer is good. So I paid, I believe, 13,000. So that include the framing. So the framing, so the wooden frame and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it all depends on the slope that you have on the roof, right? So that is going to factor in the amount of materials and that kind of stuff. So I think the wooden frame was like, I think it was like 5,500 or something like that, and then the rest was like the sheets. So yeah, roofing can add up, but those things, they last a while. I mean, we're talking about 15, 20 years, 25, 30 years. So you're paying for that. So you have to look at it from that aspect. And so you also want to use a company. So if anything happens, you can call them. You don't want somebody, that used to work for the roofing company, and then they'll do it for you, and then something happens and then you can't find them. So use a company and have them to guarantee it. Have them to guarantee for X number of years, and get a maximum guarantee. and so that kind of stuff. So use that. Um, Windows, I don't want to recommend them. They were terrible people. So, but there's some good window companies over there. Yeah, best time to build. Best time to build. You just gotta go. It's like Ghana is in the news for a lot of good reasons. So it's a hot cake right now. You want to get in now. Um, you want to get in now right now. So, but if you need any of my contact people, like Thomas, just shoot me an email. Because I know my ballista guy is working for somebody right now too. Yeah, so he's good. He's very good. So he does a good job. So shoot me an email for the contact, and I'll send it to you. And then he's gonna check your site, and then give you a quote, and then just work. But he's very reasonable. So, and then he works really hard. He's gonna do a good job. Yes. So the good thing is, like, if you like, so you when you buy like when you buy parcel of land or whatever and stuff like that, for me it makes sense. Like, you want to start thinking about planting your trees now. Like, if you want, coconut is going to take a long time, right? The banana, you can get it 1 year. Coconut is going to take many years. So this is where, once you know your design, right, of the in architectural design, where you want to put a house, I think you can start planting. It makes sense to plant your mango tree, your fruit tree, and all those things. uh Granted, you want to protect them from animals, chewing them up. But you want to start those now. So by the time you are done 5 6 years, you have some shade, and you have some, you know tree providing fruit and stuff like that. So yeah, so I would say it's a good idea to start planting right now. But you want to also make sure that it's not going to interfere with where you're going to put a structure. So you have to, it's one of those things you just, for me, when in doubt, just put it along the fence line. So that kind of stuff. So then maybe 5 feet off the fence line, so the root doesn't degrade the wall and stuff like that. So yeah, but start planting them. So that's something that I wish I would have. I think I didn't do mine to like 3 years into it. So I wish I've done it sooner. So if you can you recommend people use a skill online for now? So, like, if you are looking for land, that kind of stuff, you contact me. I have my builder. I'll link you two up, and then you guys will sort it out. Usually, you just give him transportation and that kind of stuff, and then he's gonna go look into it, and then take it from there and stuff like that. So he does that. He's a surveyor. He's a engineer. So engineer by trade, and he's a surveyor and stuff. And so then you can take it from there. But this is the year of action. Is a year of action. Go for it. Just don't hesitate. So my architect, yeah. So my architect is here. Um, um, he's in the U.S. So if you want, so whatever number you want, just shoot me an email. Um, Shoot me an email, and then I'll give it to that, and then just work with him. Just get your drawings. Just go for it. Don't the $500 more you pay now. 10 years from now, it's gonna be irrelevant. To just get exactly what you want. So what are my thoughts on my question? So maintenance, it's like, so I mean, if you look at a Ghanaian home, so basically, what are the maintenance, right? I would say eventually what you may have to change the vanity, maybe the toilet over time, or repaint. The biggest thing is that maybe repaint, or maybe some appliances break down. So um, the roof is gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while. So I think is the maintenance is not that expensive compared to here. Like here is like every 5 6 years you have to change your roof because of the snow and ice storms and that kind of stuff. Boiler can go out, all kinds of stuff. Again, you can have like a water damage in the house, and you gotta remove, like drywalls and sand the floor and that kind of stuff. But Ghana is just cement, so it's just gonna be paint, and then maybe appliances breaking down here and there. But this is not even like yearly stuff, So yeah, I mean you can keep it to a minimum. So um that kind of stuff. So, but obviously you plan that in a budget, stuff like that. So reverse osmosis. So basically, well, you want. So I think it goes from the prices 10,000 Ghana and up, and basically they are very effective. They do work, and I think you pay more for the number of gallons you can generate in a day per day. So if you want 5,000 gallons, that's a price. If you want 10,000, so for me, I think water is so important that I would say, just go for more than you need, especially when you have visitors and stuff like that coming there and that kind of stuff. So I think the technology has gotten better, and I think the price is going down. You may need a place storage to. So most people will be like maybe exterior, a makeshift housing, and they put them in, or some people put it inside. But you may need some room. It's gonna take adequate space to install that, because it's a good sized machines and stuff like that. But also ideally, I mean, if you put it outside and you secure it, it's easier for when it's like maintenance and that kind of stuff. You don't have to like just give access to somebody inside the house. They can just come outside and take care of that stuff. So, and that you just connect to your borehole. So basically what happens is the borehole goes to a tank. The tank is connected to the reverse osmosis machine, and then from there, the reverse osmosis machine is connected to the other tank, which is connected to the house. So that I think that's what the sequence. So there's two tanks involved, um, and that kind of stuff. So it's just based on the capacity. Um, Now the sea, right? So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Not to scare you out, but there was a projection 100 years from now, sea level, right? And it looks like the coast of Ghana, we are going to lose on the high end about 7 miles inshore, right? So you might want to start thinking about that. Okay, so let's say even if this, so that's the high end, 7 miles. But so let's say even if it's 1 mile, right? So you might want to think about that aspect, but that is a projection. Who knows? But there's other things too that you want to factor into, like with the sea salt and that kind of stuff, with burglar proof and the metal stuff. So you will need to get a different paint for the building if you're closer to the ocean too. And so that's going to add up in the cost and all that kind of stuff, right? So there's a benefit. You get a breeze, you get like um view and that kind of stuff, but you also means like you might have to pay more for other things to prevent the corrosion and rust and that kind of stuff. So, but the land registration, have you been issued land title? No, I have my land title, so I have everything. So I think it's like 10 pages or something like that. So it's a big. On my next um live video, I'll show it to you. So I'll show you the pages, but it goes through a different place. So since I'm in Awutu Senior in the central region, Kaswa, that part. So yeah, there's one in Kaswa, there's one in Accra itself. the main headquarters. And then so he has to go to the court to sign. So I think there's three of them. And then I have the fourth one. Yeah, so you need it's a series of documents and everything, all the stamps. So you see all the stamps, you see the region stamp, you see the Ghana stamp, you see the court stamp. So you need all that in there. So electrical is big, is a big cost. Is so plan to spend money. I think I pay like 13 grand or more for my electrical. Yeah, 13 then yeah. So I think fifth overall is about 15. But that is like, some of the costs is like stuff that I did that, somebody doesn't need that. So, but it's a big expense, because of, the work and the wiring and all that stuff. Is gonna be it's labor intensive, and so you're gonna pay a lot. POP too. So the POP they don't go by. I think what they do is like they do a measurement in a square meter of space and then they do it. So it's not by design. You're not paying for the design. The design can be as elaborate as it is, but you pay more for the square footage. So they just measure the four corners of the room and then that kind of stuff. That's what you're paying for labor. No, so the thing about the issue about if you buy your paint from outside, the challenge is narrow down the quantities. So that is the issue. Um, because it's like because when they were painting is very expensive. So what they did was they sandpaper it and then they'll paint. And then they'll paint over it, then they'll fill in any imperfection and then they'll paint again. So because they wanted to get it perfect. So there were times that and the deal we made with a store we bought the paint was like, hey, we don't have any idea exactly how much we're gonna need. We're gonna take a bunch of paint. When we need more, we'll come get more. When we don't need it, we're gonna return it. So that's what we did. Or we return for an exchange. So that is the that is the challenge. But there's a different paint that you use for concrete than use for like wood and that kind of stuff. So but they know it. And then the primer, so they will do the primer and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so when you obviously if you're doing electrical wise, you want somebody because sometimes they come in there and yank them out and go sell them. So you want to have don't do wiring until somebody's occupying the building. Or one of the things you can do is if it's a store building, don't bring the wire all the way down. Just they can do all the piping and everything in there, but then leave the top wires all the way like bundled on the second level, and then when they are ready, they can just pull it through and that kind of stuff. Because I mean, it's rare that they'll bring a ladder. Sometimes they do that, but usually if it's on the main level, they'll just yank it and pull it. So have somebody stay in there. No theft so far. Yep. So bulletproof. Okay. So if you need specific contacts for stuff, just shoot me an email and then we will take it from there and and then and then so but make sure you also vetting them and asking questions and always negotiate labor and stuff like that, but also make sure like it's reasonable, because you want them to go there and do the work and be happy doing the work for you. Other than that, some people just do they just hide stuff. So yep. So the house is like someone said, it's in Kaswa. So anyway, but I will. I don't know if I'm gonna do a video next week, but I'll try to keep the videos coming as needed, and then we will take it from there. But support the channel. and then share the video. Um, Share the videos and stuff like that. Let's keep the communication going. Like so whatever you need, just send me an email, and then we will take it from there. I appreciate you guys checking the channel and sharing it, and so I look forward to speaking with you guys again very soon. Enjoy your day. Thank you.